The scariest kind of cheater, the one living next door. Mill Creek, Oregon, looked like it belonged in a magazine spread titled Perfect American Suburbs. Rows of manicured lawns, matching mailboxes, white fences, seasonal wreaths, and the hum of distant lawnmowers. People here waved when they saw you, not because they liked you, but because it was required. A social contract built on forced friendliness and suppressed secrets. In places like this, the darkest things didn't happen in alleys. They happened behind perfect curtains. And sometimes right next door. Claire Saunders believed she married right. She met Mark after his Navy service. A calm, steady man with a clipped tone and the ability to stare straight into chaos without flinching. He was disciplined, structured, everything she thought safety looked like. She met him at a hospital, of all places. She was on a double shift in the ER. He came in escorting a friend from his unit who'd broken his wrist in a construction accident. Mark stayed with his friend the whole time, helping fill out forms, quiet, composed, polite to nurses when everyone else complained. When the friend was discharged, Mark lingered a moment too long. He asked her where she usually got coffee around here. His tone wasn't flirtatious, just straightforward. "I'm more of a tea person," she said, and he smiled faintly. "Guess I'll have to learn tea then." They met 2 days later. By the third week, they'd slipped into something easy. Two people who found comfort in silence. Claire was a registered nurse. Warm, quiet, good with people, the type who remembers birthdays and bakes banana bread when neighbors move in. Mark was methodical, the kind of man who folded towels into perfect thirds. His closet looked like a store display, shirts sorted by color, shoes lined up like soldiers. They married fast, not out of recklessness, but out of confidence. They had a daughter, Lily. A dog named Jasper, a mortgage with a fair interest rate. They jogged together on Sundays and hosted small barbecues with polite laughter and carefully portioned beers. Life was not exciting, but it was stable. Predictable. At least that's what Claire thought. Until predictability slowly rotted into routine. And routine became distance. The first cracks were so faint they felt imaginary. Late nights at work, sudden gym memberships, work trips that didn't match the mileage on his car. Mark began bringing his phone into the shower. His password changed. His tone changed. Polite, still, but distant. Lily noticed before Claire did. "Daddy's always on his phone," she said one night, fork pushing peas around her plate. "He's just busy, sweetie," Claire said. But that night, lying in bed next to him, she watched the blue light from his phone glow under the covers long after midnight. She told herself it was work. Security contracting, the job came with irregular hours, odd clients, confidentiality clauses. She trusted him. He was military, loyal, steady, moral. He couldn't cheat. So she told herself the truth was simple. Sometimes people just get stressed. That lie kept her safe, for a while. It started with a moving truck. A glossy black SUV followed it, door slamming, and out stepped a woman who looked like she came from Los Angeles influencer culture, not rural Oregon suburbia. Sarah Manning. Platinum blonde hair, perfect teeth. Designer sweater that didn't match the neighborhood. Behind her, a husband, thin, techish, already looking exhausted. Sarah smiled big, the Hollywood kind, and walked over with the plate. "Welcome gift. Well, I guess reverse welcome gift. I'm Sarah. We just moved in. These are homemade." Claire believed her. Because Claire always believed first. They chatted on the porch. Harmless small talk. Jobs, schools, weather. Sarah complimented Claire's house. Her hair, her daughter's cute shoes. Everything about Sarah sparkled. Too polished. Too perfect. Like a diamond so flawless it screamed fake. When Mark came home and saw Sarah, his reaction wasn't sparkly. He froze for half a second, then forced a friendly nod. "New neighbor," Claire said. "Yeah, welcome," Mark replied, voice tight. Claire didn't yet know what a person looks like when fate taps them on the shoulder and says, "Now you pay the price." It started small. A perfume scent on Mark's collar, floral, expensive, foreign to their home. A hotel charge on a bank statement labeled conference suite. A voicemail from someone named S, who hung up without speaking. Claire asked gently, as always, "Everything okay at work?" Mark kissed her forehead and called her paranoid. But nurses notice things. Body language. Subtle tension in the jaw, the way I shift when lying. She saw it all. But she convinced herself she wasn't seeing it. Because betrayal isn't a sudden knife. It's a slow drowning. And the drowning person kicks away the lifeboat, thinking they can swim. One night, Mark fell asleep on the couch. His phone, usually on silent, vibrated and slipped out of his pocket. Claire, passing by, glanced. She never snooped. Never had to. Until now. A message glowed on screen. Sarah, I miss you. Tomorrow? Then another. Sarah. Does she suspect? Claire didn't breathe. Not out of shock, but certainty. Shock is when the world breaks suddenly. Certainty is when you realize it has been broken all along. She stood still, phone in hand, heart turning to stone grain by grain. Then she placed it back, wiped off her fingerprints instinctively, and went upstairs, every step mechanical. She didn't cry. Not yet. The truth is quieter than imagination. Claire didn't confront him. She didn't scream. She didn't pack bags. She observed. Because love blinded her, but betrayal sharpened everything. Over the next week, she planted seeds. Installed a micro camera behind the porch plant. Added GPS tracking to Mark's car through their insurance app. Synced his messages through a forgotten backup login. Wrote nothing down. Nurses understand paper trails. Mark left for a Portland security contract. She watched his GPS stop 6 blocks away, at Sarah's house. Claire drove, parked around the corner, walked quietly. The house glowed warm. 2 wine glasses on the kitchen island. Bodies pressed in the hall, kissing like teenagers. She did not cry. She simply whispered to herself, "You chose this moment." And safety finally burned into resolve. A week later, she knocked on Sarah's door. Sarah opened, silk robe, smug smile, eyes glittering with confidence born from being chosen over someone else. Mark appeared behind her, face draining of blood. Claire, listen, no. She placed photos, screenshots, GPS logs on the island. Silence. Sarah smirked first, and that was Mark's second betrayal, not the cheating. The choice of co-conspirator, you really had no idea. Sarah said, voice dripping condescension. He said you were fragile, predictable, like furniture. Mark flinched. Sarah watched eagerly. Claire stared coldly at both of them. You could have left, she said. Cheating is one thing. Cowardice is worse. Mark tried to speak, but Sarah cut in, wicked curiosity overtaking her. It was just fun, she shrugged. You were never a threat. Claire leaned in slightly. I'm not here to threaten. I'm here to end. Then she smiled, politely, impeccably, like the town trained her. I hope you two deserve each other. She walked away without slamming the door. Monsters feed on drama. She starved them. That was her revenge. Divorce filed quietly. Custody arranged without screaming. House sold. Account split. Claire left Mill Creek and rebuilt herself in Denver. New job. New apartment. New jogging route. Peace. Mark? Still in Mill Creek. Renting a room. Working supermarket security. No more command. No more structure. Just regret and fluorescent lights. Neighbors whispered. Small towns always do. Sarah? She left her husband too. Moved somewhere sunny and suspicious, reinventing herself again. Like a wildfire that burns through a town and then moves on to the next forest. People like Sarah aren't cheaters. They're predators who happen to use romance as a weapon. Claire sat in a Denver cafe on a cold January morning. A man smiled at her, gentle eyes, honest face. She smiled back, not because she needed a new beginning, but because she finally understood something profound. Betrayal didn't break her. It revealed her. And what stood revealed was not fragile, not predictable, not weak. She had bent, but she did not collapse. That was her victory. Mill Creek, with its polished mailboxes and smiling lies, was far away now. But sometimes she wondered about that polished predator next door. And somewhere, Sarah probably whispered to a new neighbor, "Hi, we just moved in. These are homemade. The perfect American suburb is a stage. Everyone plays a role. The loyal wife, the honorable husband, the friendly neighbor, until someone decides they want a different script. Then the whole town watches the play collapse, quietly, politely, through blinds and hedges. Because here's the truth. In places where life looks perfect, it only takes one secret to burn the neighborhood down. And someone always brings matches.